Here we go.
Good morning, YouTube. Man, with George Page, aka the Emperor of Female Body Talk, coming to you live on YouTube. This weekend is busy. Can you believe it? We're almost at the end of April. We're going to be starting a new month in another week, and time is flying by, folks. It's already halfway through 2026. Big weekend. There's a couple of shows coming up. It's going to be busy, and most of these shows are masters. Most definitely when concerning women's physique and figure. And one of the shows is coming up. It's actually happened today, later on today, because they're on a different time zone. And it's in Washington State, and that is the Emerald Cup. Now, the Emerald Cup's been around quite some time. It's a master show exclusively, which qualifies competitors for the 2027 Masters O. We have ages ranges from 35 all the way down to 60. And the list came out a few days ago. And there's a couple of ladies on this show that are competing in women's physique and figure that I had the pleasure of being on guest on my channel. And I looked at the division for figure. This time they're doing 40 plus. Last time I think it did at least 35, 40, and even up to 50. But this time it's quoted down to 45 plus, which qualifies you for the 2027 Masters O. So the list is set, and we have here at least about quite a few ladies here. I'll say about at least around six ladies exclusively. As you know, there was a last show for Masters Olympic qualification was the Puerto Rico. Not as many ladies compared to this show, but as you know, the cost, expense, travel, and all stuff like that. So the first person I'm going to mention is the lovely Miss Christina Parks, better known as Tina Trap Queen. As you know, I interviewed her just last year. And, she's an amazing lady. Been competing for quite some time. She turned pro back in 2024. And this is going to be a second year as a pro. Last time she competed was the Toronto Super Show and some other shows. Impressive lady. So this possibly might get her first Masters O qualification. So let's see how she does. I'm just following social media. Impressive physique and impressive other things too. Next up, we have Miss Krista Phillips. Now, Miss Phillips, she's been just made her pro debut just about 3 weeks ago in figure at the Triple O. And she's also doing figure and physique show. So she looks very impressive from her last competitions. So let's see how she does. Next up, we have Mrs. Karen Phelps. And Mrs. Phelps has been competing for quite some time. Mostly done master shows. She does shows like Chicago. And also she did here the, I think that's the, which show is that? I forgot what show this is. I recognize the background. But it's exclusively a master show. So let's see how well she does. Next up we have here is Suha Q. I don't want to mispronounce her name. And she has not competed, I think, since 2018. I think the last show she did was Chicago Pro. I know she's not now. She's a doctor. She got her MD a few years ago. And it seemed like she just kind of disappeared. Now she's making a return. I mean, my guess now that, after a few years and maybe settling in, being a doctor is a lot. So now she's coming back to bodybuilding. So she's doing this show here in Washington State. Next up, we have Mrs. Amy Reeves. And Miss Reeves hadn't competed in a few years. The last show she did was the Legion Sports Festival. The Legion Sports Festival was both Masters and Open. My brother Big Keith competed there back in 2024. But then the show does no longer carries figure and physique, both Masters or Open. So let's see how she does. Next up, we have here Miss Angela Rotondo, and this is going to be her pro debut. I believe she turned pro at Team Collegiate about a couple of years ago. Now, we have here the list for figure, and we have quite a few bodies here. It's a deep list. Mostly it's focused from women from 35 all the way down to 60. Not as many bodies. We had quite a few more women both at the recently at the Puerto Rico Pro and the Triple O for figure. But my guess some of the ladies are maybe waiting on some of the shows later on the season. So this is one of the few shows that have figure, and which all the others were doing mostly masters, and maybe a couple were open. But have a good number of ladies here, and some ladies have been guests on my channel. First up we have here is the lovely Miss Carolyn Hudson Harris. Now she's doing both women's 40 and 50. And she had competed since around, I believe, about 2017. Impressive lady. Well, I saw her on social media. I started following her a little bit. So, let's see how she does. we have a return of a lady who had been against my channel, the lovely Miss Lisa Hutchins. She's doing both 35 and 40. As you know, 40 qualifies you for Masters Olympia for 2027. And you know, she was also competing at the Triple O doing both 40 and Masters. So she did pretty good. I think she was in the top 5 in the Masters, and I believe top 10 in the Open. Next up, we have another lady who also made a guest, Jennifer Scott. As you know, she made her debut last year at the Triple O, and she also competed the show last year, and she's doing just both 35 and 40. Next up, we have again is Mrs. Phelps. As you know, she's just doing the 40 part. That's what she says, age range. And next up we have here is the lovely Miss Lisa Comoda. Comoda. I hate to mispronounce the name. And she's doing 55 and 60. So it looks very impressive. And next up we have here one Mrs. Maggie Rivera, who's also doing 55 and 60. And last we have here one Miss Mary Sanderman, who's doing also 45 and 50. And think about, 55 and 60. Think about Mrs. Sanderman. This lady is 70 years old. So from what I've seen on social media, she's impressive physique. I mean, hope she does well. So the show actually starts today, later today. As you know, in Washington State, there are 3 hours behind us. So it's right now, it's a little after 7 for them. So possibly they will probably start about an hour or so ago. So I will leave the link. So I should have this video yesterday, but I was busy. I got so many other things to do, cutting videos, doing that, things happen. But I say, let's do it today. And also it's going to be from today till Sunday. So if you miss it, you can always catch it again. I think you usually go by amateurs and you go by each class per division. So we'll check it out. Let's see how these competitors do. And possibly we might get more bodies for next year's Masters Olympia. Anyway, this is me on the George page, aka the Emperor Female Brain Talk. Like, don't like, subscribe. I am out.